Say what you want, but don't play games with my affection. Oh, we got some ladies here. Hey, Nancy. Who else is here? Let me know you guys are here. Hey, Katina. Hey, guys. So we running a little late behind, but I said I had to come in today. Hey, Elena. How you doing? Happy Wednesday. You guys know we just getting back from the Draping Masterclass tour, where we were in Houston, had an amazing time. And we was in NOLA. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Monique. Oh, you guys are over here on YouTube. Awesome. Because tonight, that's the only place I will be streaming. And I think moving forward, that may be the only place I'm going to be streaming, right? Kind of keep it all at one place. So pretty much tonight, I know I missed last week because we were traveling for the draping class. And the week before that, I was traveling for my bestie's birthday. So I said, I cannot miss tonight, even though I'm tired as I don't know what. You could probably see it in my eyes. So, but I'm here. So I got to come on and just talk to you guys a bit about pricing. Like I said, I would. Hey, CJ. Hey, Dina, Sabrina. Thank you, ladies, for chiming in. So tonight, since I missed last week, we're going to talk about hourly rates, right? I hear a little bit people talking about pricing, and it's such a big deal. And you guys notice one of the things I kind of hate talking about because it's not one of those it's just not something you could just put a price stamp on it and everybody can take the same price tag. It's just not set up that way. So tonight I want to talk about just different ways you can determine how much is your time worth an hour and why you guys actually see probably so many different prices when certain people have the same product or have the same service, right? Treese, tell me if I'm saying this right. Tricia or Trisha, one of them. Wynette, hey ladies. Okay, so we're gonna kind of just jump in there so I can get some rest. Because guess what? I'm back on the road tomorrow, guys. So I had to come spend some time with you guys. So if you guys have any questions, just pop it in the comments. I will see it. I will answer. And honestly, it could be anything relative to draping, right? It could be anything relative because I missed 2 weeks. So I got to make it up to you guys. So if you with me, tell me you with me. Hey, that's my girl Cindy. Hey, Graphic Affairs. That's my girl Cindy in the house. Those that may not know, because if anyone is new to the channel, I am Precious Stevens of the Posh Academy, right? And I teach event professionals or creatives such as yourself how to make more money doing exactly what you love through premium draping. We just had some amazing ladies in New Orleans and in Houston, Texas. And I'm still trying to post their pictures. It's just like a lot of work when it comes to social media. So I'm hoping I can get it done tomorrow. I did some of it today. I did some of it yesterday. It's just a lot. Social media is so demanding. So I got to kind of get up to speed. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, just put them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them, okay? Let's just roll into it. Let me get you guys over here. Wait a minute. There we go. Okay. All right. So you're from Trinity. That's right. Trinidad in the house. If any of you guys, I kind of want to know, how are you guys pricing your stuff now? Like, what is your strategy? How are you coming up with your price points? And honestly, like, what is your, anyone that's in the chat that drapes right now, what is your base price? I'm just curious because we talked about pricing like in the draping classes, and even with not even just draping, some of the ladies did florals, some did balloons, they did some amazing stuff, right? But it's just such a big difference when it comes down to pricing. Some people are charging $300 when other people are charging $700 for the same exact thing. So I'm kind of want to get a feel for what you guys got going on out there. Hey, Kimberly, Chicago in the house. Yeah, I didn't hear, Nancy, I didn't hear like the details, But I was just told that we kind of got out there in the nick of time because I think a storm or something came. I didn't hear all of the details, but I heard it is pretty bad. So definitely sending prayers, sending loves to all those guys in NOLA, right? And I'm gonna actually, when I get off here, probably figure out what happened. So tell me, you guys tell me in the comments, what is your base price? Where are you guys starting at? For let's just say if you're draping, what is your bottom line? You won't go anything below what you got, and I'll tell you what mine is. And it's just funny because there's so many different prices we talked about in class. You could use a strategy, you don't have to. You could use a package kind of deal. I'll talk about how you can package your backdrops, and there's different ways to do it. You can do your hourly thing. I get it, but it's just, for me, it's just too much. It's just too much configurations. It's too much. Because 9 times out of 10, when you do hourly, they're not all billable hours. So it's like, are you really getting paid hourly? Even though it's the balloons or the backdrops or whatever it is, and you're not including all of the hours from the initial, even going to shop for the stuff. That's time. I could be doing something else. Okay, Nancy, so you say basic, you're starting at 125, 4 to 5 panels. Honestly, so is that like your total price for everything? Like when you're going to install it, when you're delivering all of that? Or is that like just for that specific service? 125, Monique. Okay, see, same thing. So you guys are relatively in the same ballpark. So, but for Monique, for you, is it the same thing? Is it like a basic sheer, one color, a couple of panels? Because if that's the case, then yeah, that's pretty much the going rate. But I'm talking about like the 2 swags or something like that when you're actually doing a design. And I'm trying to figure out, or get feedback rather, how are you guys actually pricing this stuff? Because I get questions all the time, but it's like I can't really give the correct price. I can't give the correct answer if I don't know where's the error. So I'm trying to figure out where is the error. Like, how are you guys pricing this stuff? Is it just because somebody told you that was the price? Is it because you're doing some kind of strategy? Is it because it's something you heard in the groups that's what you're supposed to do? So where did you guys get your pricing strategies from? Right, Nancy, I think that's what it is. When it comes down to the extra layers, swags, balances, colors, textures, that's honestly, you could take this, one of my designs, let's just say something that they did in class, and it could be maybe just 2 colors, right? It won't be the same price as what they did in class because it was just so many other elements involved. You had garlands and chandeliers and lanterns and textured fabric, premium fabric, printed fabric, like all of that is really how you increase the price of your stuff. And I think I was on here, I don't know, about a month or so ago, and I really did give I thought it was a breakdown of how to really price everything if you're not good with packaging. I did the packaging one too. So if you're not good with packaging and you kind of want to start off with pricing the line item stuff, like 2 swags, 2 tie backs, 2 frames, and keep doing that until you get an idea of how much this backdrop is. So if somebody come to you and they point to something in your portfolio and it's that backdrop, you shouldn't have to go and do that mathematical equation all over again. You should know instantly how much that is. So if you start, let's just say for anyone that took the pricing course or whoever know the pricing strategy, if you start off doing it that way, that is how you build and get into packaging. Because now you should know how much a basic, let's say 4 color, 2 swags and a balance, you should know how much that is. And if you should know how much you're charging for a frame or a chandelier or whatever it is. The whole goal is to come up easily with your pricing strategy. So how we do it now is have your 3 different tiers, right? Have your 3 different tiers of your backdrops. Your base layer, which would be your whatever $500 to $700 range. Then is your premium, whatever that is, from maybe 8 to 10 or 11. And then it's the premier, which would be $1,200 and above. So it's like you have to have a strategy in place. So if you're talking about hourly, right, and which is how I started, and it was was wrong. I ain't gonna lie. It was. But when you talk about hourly, is really a common way to really charge clients, and not only that, but also pay for your workers. It's a good way for you to come up with knowing how much you're gonna pay your team, because that, they get this watch. That is another common question. Like, how I want to hire some laborers. I don't know how much to pay them. How much are you guys paying your laborers? If y'all have laborers, maybe someone that's going to go set up or something like that. Okay, Cindy, I like that. That's a strategy. That is like something you have tangible in place where you don't have to sit there and say, oh, I don't know how much to charge. That is what I meant by packaging your backdrops, having them categorized where someone can just pick maybe if they want basic, if they want premium, if they want elite, whatever, call it what you want. But that's what I mean by that. Hello, Monique. You talking my language now, baby. So Monique says, let me show that. This is how I do it. So you consider, however you're going to price, you got to take everything in consideration, your cost of living, and not only that, but the value of the money and your location. Also, how much your expenses are. What is so how I call it is my freedom figure. Like every month, I have to make X, Y, and Z, so I'm not going willy-nilly on how I'm gonna pay my bills, right? So you have to have your freedom figure. And when you're working with that, that's how you go back and you count everything out, and that's how you start pricing out your products, your services, whatever it is. So that's why a lot of my stuff is priced differently from what everyone else is doing, because of maybe my expenses is more, or maybe I'm touring and I it's just so many different things that you have to put in place, right? Or you have to really figure out so you can break the numbers down and how much it is hourly, or how much your hourly wage is. That's a good rate, Siobhan. $25 an hour, and that's for the people that may help you at your setups and things like that. Because I know some people that's paying 10, and I'm like, wow, that's $10. That's a lot of work. I don't even want to put up another charger plate or spoon, fork, any of that. But some people look at it as it's labor, and that is like the going rate for labor, I guess. So when you are, when you're thinking of these things, it's really hard. And this is, I think, always going to be a problem, because so many different people have so many different strategies. You really don't know who to listen to. And what you shouldn't be really listening to anyone and just implementing that strategy. What you should be doing is taking bits and pieces of information and taking whatever applies to your business, your lifestyle, whatever it is, and then coming up with your own, because it has to be something that works for you. My strategy may not work for you. However, it may be something in there. You're like, oh, I could do that. And if that's the case, that's how you take it. You take bits and pieces. That's how I came up with all my stuff, because it ain't like I created anything. But I take bits and pieces of information that applies to me or applies to something I'm trying to achieve, and I implement it in a way that it works for me, or it works for my business. So that's really something kind of what you want to do. You want to consider all of your income goals, right? You have to figure out, I tell y'all all the time, like, you have to have a vision. If you don't know, or you don't have some kind of destination you're trying to go, you're never going to get a plan into how to get there, because you don't know where you're going. You have to have a vision in place. Nancy, $15 an hour, that's good. But how many hours normally is someone on, let's just say for a day of? Like, how many hours does that normally for you? So for me, if I have people with me, if I'm doing a workshop, then clearly it's all day. But if I'm just going to go set up, then it's only 2 hours. It's only 2 hours. And normally, I'll meet them there or something like that. And if it's something far, then you got to configure the travel time and all that. But I just know sometimes I just I put a little personal perspective on it. I know if it was me, that's just not something that's attractive. And I just know the amount of work that goes into setting up an event. So when it comes out like the $10 and things like that, I know I could not get it done in a timely fashion without those people on board. And now, if I know my pricing strategy and how I price my events or my labor, they're going to be compensated anyway, and it's not going to come out of my pocket anyway. Parking is necessary. Yes, absolutely. I like that, Cindy. Wait a minute, who else we got? Exactly. So the thing about the expenses part, and it gets tricky because some things you're not supposed to tax and things like that. So it does get tricky. But you are supposed to look at your expenses. But it's not just your expenses. You're also supposed to consider the things that you are paying. Wait a minute. Not just your expenses, but you still, like I was getting back to the vision, you still have to have an overall income goal. If I know I'm trying to make $50,000 a month, and then again, I go back and say, well, how many classes is that going to take, right? And then how much am I able to make per class, right, per day? And that's how I come up with my pricing strategy. It has nothing to do with how much Taylor is charging for her stuff. It has nothing to do with how much this organization is charging for their stuff. It has everything to do with the amount of value I'm providing in my classes, as well as what it takes to run that class. Especially if you're traveling, right? You're traveling, so you have to put all that stuff in. So that's why the price is going to be different. Each assistant. Wait a minute. Let me see. Lashina. Yeah, help set up. And that's about, okay, so a lot of you ladies it's about the same amount that you guys are kind of going in a different range. It's about the same amount. But you got to set your income goal, right? Because your income goal is going to be how much you like to make in whatever particular time. It don't have to be monthly. It could be weekly. It could be whatever it is. But you're going to set your standards according to that goal. And when you're deciding your income goal, right? You may have a number in your head already, but guess what? You may not. You may not have a slightest idea of how much you like to make, because sometimes, let's just face it, you can say it, and even though it's realistic, if you're not used to it, it's going to feel scary. And then when you feel that fear, what you're going to do? You're going to go right back to what is normal. What's normal? Wait a minute. Let me see. Less amount, a little more. Yes. Yeah. Beverly, I got it. Thank you, Beverly. So but that's what it is. When you figuring out the income goal, let's not be unrealistic, because then what you're going to do, you're going to end up if you don't meet it, you're going to end up feeling discouraged, and you're going to end up giving up, right? But if it's something that's realistic but still scary a little bit, that is what you need. The sphere is going to kind of keep you intact, and it's going to not only keep you intact, but it's going to make sure that you are delivering valuable services. Because normally fear is, oh, I'm a fail, or oh, it's not going to go off right, or oh, they're not going to like my services. So normally when you have those thoughts in your head, I know I still have them. I'm like, oh, they're not going to like the colors of the backdrop. So that's what really keeps me in my storage a little longer. Because sometimes I can overthink it, like, oh, they're not going to like it. And then guess what? They're like, oh, that looks beautiful. Right? So that's why I ask a lot of you guys, when I put the backdrops up, like, what colors do you like? What colors, to kind of see which ones are more favorable. So I can kind of tend to, I want to use what people like. So that's why I ask you guys all the time. But when you're choosing your income goals, right, there's no right way, it's no wrong way. It's not something that's sketched in stone, and you can adjust it. Because honestly, I think when I first started, according to I'm trying to think back when I was working, I think my monthly I probably was close to $2,000 a month when I was working. So when I first got into this, I was like, oh, well, as long as I could just replace that, right, I'm good. But then when it just became so easy to do, then I increased it a little more. Then I increased it a little more. And then I just kept increasing it. And every time I increased it to a number that was just a little bit scary. And so when I wouldn't hit it, I would go back and find out why I didn't make my mark, right? Why I didn't make my mark. So whatever that loophole is or was, I would go and fix it. So either my marketing wasn't consistent, or I wasn't marketing at all, or I probably didn't have something in place. That it could be a different things on why I didn't hit it. But if you're not doing your analytics and analyzing what went wrong and what went right and what's working and what's not working, then you're not going to really make the necessary changes to even hit the milestone. Wait a minute, let me see. That Cindy, that works as well. So I did that a lot. And honestly, I still do it. I love interns because, and some people feel a certain kind of way about this, like, oh, they're working for free. I don't feel as if they're working for free if it's something that can benefit them. If it's something that, if let's just say, if they are doing balloons, right, and they don't want to learn draping, they don't know nothing about draping, then clearly I would not have a volunteer on board because it's not beneficial to them. But if it's someone that's interested in draping and maybe they couldn't enroll in a class or something like that, but they're great workers, I still use assistants in some of my classes, or I'll use some of my past students because I'm normally doing something different in class. So just so you can have that exposure or something like that. So that's Cindy, that's a good one. I love volunteers, but like I said, just as long as it's something that's beneficial to them to some kind of degree, so it can feel like a win-win. I never wanted to be a situation where it's like a one-sided situation. Then it's kind of like, nah, not there. So I don't do that. But that's a good one for any of you ladies that's on here listening. Volunteers is a great way to go. Not only that, it's a great way to also give back, because believe it or not, volunteers, especially if that's something they want to do, that's exciting. For one, they feel useful. They feel like they're a part of something. And you're also giving back. So I like the exchange or the barter situation. I still barter. So you guys got something you want to barter, holla at me. Holla at me. But that's how it is, right? So that's how it is. The key when you're setting your income goal is you want to feel good about it, right? Not only that, you want to get excited when you think about it. You want to think about what possible changes could it do for your lifestyle. And it's not necessarily about, I could buy this, I could buy that, but you want to look at the emotional aspect. I know for me, it gave me freedom. I was able to count my own time. I was able to do whatever I wanted to do in my own time. So that was the valuable part for me. However, money was the tool that allowed me that, but it's like a thing you have to understand that it's just a tool. It's a tool. It's an exchange for something valuable. So for me, it was time. It was being able to spend a lot more time with my children, go to all these kind of events. It was the ability to travel when I want. That is what it was for me. So now when my visions grow, because they still grow, my vision is nowhere near what it was 6 months ago, right? So when they grow, I got to make the adjustment so that my income goals can see them to fruition. Let me see. Yes, Beverly, I agree. They are learning and you should acknowledge them. So just because they are volunteers or interns or whatever the case may be, they still deserve appreciation. They still deserve to feel like they are a part of the organization, the business, whatever it is, because it's an exchange. You're helping them and they're helping you. And normally, especially when they feel appreciated, they normally go over and beyond anyway. And even though they're volunteering, I still, if I'm having an assistant or something like that, I'll still find incentives that helps them out because it just makes them feel good. So yeah, I like that, Beverly. So that's the thing as far as your income goals. Set your income goals and then work back. That's how you're going to come up. That's how you're going to figure out your hourly rate, right? So once you have your income goal, let's just say, I don't know, it could be $1,000 a month, right? If that's it, then you want to start using your income goal to calculate your hourly rate, right? And you want to give yourself, some time and some stretch. If you have now you're setting goals and you haven't done it before, don't be like, oh, I want to make $2,000 by next week. That's going to be too much stress. You don't want to sit there and put yourself under that pressure to hit that mark. Allow yourself some room to grow, because now that you're setting goals, if you haven't done it before, you may got to implement some changes into your business, or you may have to do some things different. And normally change is not something that can just happen just like that, right? I'm trying to make sure I don't miss y'all comments. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I saw that, Cindy. My fault. So that's what it is, right? So when you're coming out and you are figuring out your hourly rate, you want to calculate your hourly rate, right? And you want to really look at it as if, I wish I could show y'all this breakdown how I used to do it. And I still do it, especially if I'm implementing a new product or a new service. That's how I come up with my pricing. And it helps me realize how many I have to move, how many units I have to sell. It helps me do all that. Y'all got a new watch, guys. So if you see me keep doing this, because I'm girl trying to get healthy. Not that I ain't already strong, but I'm trying to get healthy. So I'm trying to make sure I don't sit in this chair super duper long and get some moves and some steps in. So that's pretty much it. How are you guys like, wait a minute, let me bring this back over here. How are you guys, not pricing strategy as far as, let's just say backdrops, not that. Like, what are you doing? Let's just say if you have a package. See, so many of you guys do so many different things here. How many planners or designers do I have? It's kind of like a mixed group. So normally products and services is kind of different. How you would price it a little different, but I'm interested in knowing, what are you guys currently doing? Cindy, I saw yours. Let me see. Y'all know I'm blind. I can't see. So Monique, I see yours. Wait a minute. Okay, so Monique, for something like this, where you say you do the travel, the expenses, and all that good stuff, but what about like what I just mentioned? Do you have any income goals that you implement in that whole pricing strategy? If it does that, yeah, planner and designer. Wow. Okay. Full services. Okay. She's saying I'm fresh off the block. I love it. Okay. Designer. Okay. So yeah, it's normally, it is let's see, planner and designer. Okay. All right, so I got a couple of big designers in here. So if you are you doing packages, or are you doing a la carte? Are you doing commission style, hourly rate? Like, how are you guys pricing your services? Because I actually did them all. And the easiest for me was packages. Even though some people try to sit there and pull your package apart, but you can't allow that to happen. Okay. For a particular job, I would set a goal. Okay, so not for a particular job, Monique. How about, so what I'm saying is, let's just say overall, let's not even talk about the job. Do you have an income goal that you may want to make every month or next month or what next, Christmas coming up? So is it anyone with any income goals like, hey, I need to make $10,000 in December? And then if that's the case, all right, well, now I know I need to do 4 events. So like, are anyone kind of doing it that way? Custom design, let me see. Event decor. Oh yeah, I know that's what you do, CJ. Y'all are rocking. You provide everything. Decor, floral, favors. Wow. Oh, that wore me out. I couldn't do it. Oh, awesome. So LD, I don't know your name, so I'm sorry. That's probably your business name. So if that's the case, for one, don't feel like as if, because we all did it. We all, especially in the beginning, we have all undersold ourselves to some degree. I'm telling y'all, when I was out there doing $700 packages and, oh my goodness, $1,200 packages. And I'm like, now there's no way. I was like, oh, I got pumped. But you got to take in consideration, if at the time I'm just had this little state office job and only grossing $1,000, I'm like, oh, I could just, you mean to tell me I can make that in one day? But I had no clue it was more than just one day, because I normally would prep 2 weeks before an event, right? And that's what I mean by those non-billable hours. That's how a lot of people, especially in the beginning, end up getting sucker punched or end up getting undersold or pricing their services too low because they're not taking everything into effect, right? So once I started learning, and I'm like, oh no, I got this thing all wrong. What, you prepping now? How? And you say the wedding is not until December. Well, see, weddings is different. So weddings, you do kind of you go along with like the timeline. I know that's what used to kind of keep me in perspective, was operating a timeline. So again, even doing a wedding, it was like, oh, that's a lot of hours. Once I started looking at it, and I'm like, nah, this is not something I want to do. It's not something I want to do. What's the decision, Monique? Share with us. You say you have a 9 to 5 and you want out. Trust me, I know what that feels like. But what's the decision you're going to make for next year? I'm excited. I want to know. This your last one. Yeah, so Monique, definitely consider the prepping, because you're working. You're working, and who's going to compensate for that? So if you're not getting compensated for it, guess what? Again, you're under charging your services. I just did my last one too. So are you guys talking about you did your last one for the year, or are you guys talking about you're quitting? Or you're going to do another service? Help me out here. Oh, okay. That's going to be pretty. I love chuppahs. Flower centerpieces and chuppahs. Okay. So when you're doing the wait a minute, let me get my notes. So when you're doing your whole hourly rate and all that good stuff, right? You, like I said, you do need to take account of your income goal. You do need to take into account your expenses, right? And then not only that, the biggest thing, and I think this is what some people kind of leave out, you have to think about the lifestyle you want to live. You can't just say, oh, I want a house in the hills, but don't prepare for it or don't make room for it, right? And the only way that that's going to happen is you have to have these visions that's like bigger than life, because that's the stuff that's going to fuel you to, for one, know your worth, right? And then not only that, tack those prices onto your services with such confidence, because otherwise you're not going to ever have your house in the hills. You're not going to ever have your house in the hills. Wait a minute, let me see. I decided to do what I really love, and that put all into my business. That's awesome. Oh, last one at this low price. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you. And you want to know what? All it takes is a decision. Once you have, I don't know how that event or what it was made you feel, but obviously you ain't like it, because you're like, this is my last one. But at the end of the day, that's all it takes is a decision. And when no one's saying no one is really saying to jump from 200 to 800. That's not really what I'm saying. You could gradually go into that thing, but whatever it takes, once you have that mindset that you deserve more, and you want to eliminate that frustration of leaving your events and like, oh my God, did I just get pumped? I swear, I used to leave, right? And yeah, you get excited about, oh, it looks so amazing. But then when you leave and you feel empty and you have nothing to show for it, it's like, what's going on here? Like, I got this all wrong. Wait a minute. Then came COVID. Yeah, so I made a hold back until next year. Yes, then came COVID. I mean, COVID came and shaped a lot of things around and work out. Wait a minute. Is it better to charge % of expense budget on larger corporate events? So it depends. Even when I was doing corporate, it depends. So we would do percentage sometimes, and corporate is different because, for one, and I really like corporate, because corporate, the funds is there, the budget is there. It's not a lot of negotiation and haggling, and that's not really going to happen. But you got to kind of figure out what's the percentage, right? And does it make sense? So once you start filtering out those services, whatever you guys are providing, and if you want to do it one whole lump sum and just do a percentage of that, you got to figure out, is it more feasible to do it that way, or if it's just feasible to do it per service. So it's kind of like just getting used to find out which one is the greater benefit, or which one is you're going to benefit more from on you guys' side. So I don't know if you guys are, what did you say? You're doing planning or design? So normally some planners do that. So some planners, they'll round up all of the vendors, and they have a percentage of each cut. Sometimes it works out really good that way. But then sometimes it's just, this is their flat fee, right? But it's just, you got to kind of decide which one, is more lucrative for you. My accountant says I need to charge more, so I'm revamping everything. say you need to charge more. That's, woo, boy, you always listen to the accountant. Always keep your eyes on the bank and realize what is needing, adjustments. So if your accountant say you need to charge more, then yeah, let's do this revamp, right? But like I just said earlier, sometimes you have to give yourself space. You can't just go out there and say, hey, I'm charging an extra $5,000. Well, hold on, right? If let's just say if your brand, not saying yours, Beverly, but just saying, if your brand isn't attracting those kind of people, then like you just said, you're going to have to do a revamp, right? So you can attract those kind of people that's spending that kind of money. It may include a new website. It may include some marketing materials. It may include changing, amplifying your message. It could just include so much. And that's what I mean by you have to give yourself time to make those adjustments. Because when you don't give yourself the time, that's how you get frustrated. You're under too much pressure. You end up giving up, or you just stay at your baseline, right? And you never really get to that next level. That's how so many people get stuck exactly where they're at and not take it to the next level. I don't care what y'all see me changing all the time. Why? It's because I'm always trying to excel. I'm always trying to do better. I'm always trying to, attract a better quality client. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take rebranding, right? It's going to take investing in systems and all this stuff. It's going to take that, because otherwise, if I knew exactly how to do it, it would have been done from day one. And I also got to realistically give myself time to implement these changes. So that's what I mean by that. So you don't end up getting frustrated and slamming stuff all off the desk like I've done a couple times. I do packages. Yeah. So I do a la carte too. Well, I don't do events no more. But when I would do a la carte as well. Because like I said, some people will try and pick your packages apart. So it is best to have both, right? You want to have your packages because it's easy to sell people in a package. But then you'll have some that just only want certain things. They may only want the arch, or, it's just certain things they want. So it's best to have your pricing, like your price points for both. That way you could just easily shoot them an invoice. So you don't want to be sitting there having to figure it out. No one wants to sit there and wait for an invoice or a quote, because it should be a quote first to come. And then they want to say, oh, no, you know what? I want this going, that going. I don't need this. I don't need that. So you just want to be able to run in there and make the adjustments and shoot it right back to them. Because if you take too long, guess what? They're gone. They didn't already hire somebody else. They already hired someone else. Lashana say, you got pumped too? You got to tell me about it, Lashana. What happened? Yeah, I used to get pumped. I was like, and I wonder why they would jump on. They would hire me immediately. We wouldn't even get through, consultations about an hour. We wouldn't even get to 30 minutes. They're like, all right, just here you go. You take check. I'm like, dang. So that made me thought I was super good. But no, I learned. I was getting pumped the whole time. Oh, goodness. Rise and Star, tell me your name so I can remember you. You do coordinating and design. Dana G, you say if you say you're looking into doing packages and custom designs, custom designs is always customized stuff is always a winner because it's unique. It's unique. Some people will go and just point at something and say, hey, I want that, right? But then you do have those, and these are like my favorite clients. I absolutely love them. You do have those that give you creative control, right? Because they just trust your services. They just trust your style, your creativity, whatever it is. They like my favorite clients, right? I love them. But then, like doing custom designs, like I said, for me, is super fun. Not only that, it's an easy way to make more money because anything customized costs more. I don't want you to remember that, Dana. Anything customized always costs more. And doing packages, I love packages too because it's just easy. It's already done. It's already created. Everything is already there. When they get into the a la carte, I don't really do it too much because they drive you crazy. And they aren't the kind of clients I tend to like working with, right? Normally, when you have people that want to pick away packages and take this out and take that out, I'm like, look, that's too much. Because normally, if it's like that in the beginning, that's going to be the way the entire relationship is going to be. And y'all know how your girl feel about her piece. I can't do it. The phone calls, you want to know what, Precious? Can we take this off? No. Oh my goodness. Rising Star, what do you, oh, tailor-made events. Okay, so what do you mean? Is there a benefit to joining national organizations to attract higher end clients? Are you talking about like, what do we have here? Let me see. What do we? It depends on what's the organization. Now, it's always good to be a part of an organization, period, because you are able to increase your brand awareness, right? You're able to get access to more people a lot easier. But it just really depends on the organization. Is it an organization that has people that is possibly going to hire you for your services? Or is it an organization where all of you guys do the same thing, right? And it's like a networking thing. So it kind of just depends. Wait a minute, let me see. Oh, you really lowballed yourself, Dana? I'm telling you, we did it. We all did it. I was charging back then probably $600 for the same thing today that I charged $2,600 for. So you can imagine how your girl felt back. I was like, what? But I ain't know any better. So when you know better, you do better, right? Tailor-made events. Okay, I got you. Okay, so let me see, Monique. I am in the process of rebranding, and I will need time to move around and improve on my skill. And with the 9 to 5, I'm restricted, so I definitely have to make that hard decision. Totally get it. So one good thing about having a 9 to 5, right? And I don't know how strenuous your 9 to 5 is, but I had no idea I was going to leave my job. I didn't. Because I was hustling that thing. I was working and still working on my business, right? And I really thought that that's just how it was going to be. I had no indication that I was going to quit or none of that. But like how you just said, the decision, it came to me like I remember one day just at work. And normally, I always do things ahead of time. So it could be June. And my stuff is planned out at work at my 9 to 5 all the way up until December, right? So that is how I was able to get, buy pockets of time at work. And I'm sitting at my computer and I'm doing Porsche design stuff, right? Building the business. But when it got time to like certain things I wanted to do, maybe I wanted to go live because then I started my group and I needed to like really engage those guys more and be on social media. And that was the stuff that I enjoy because, I'm super silly and y'all silly right with me, right? But that was the stuff I enjoyed. So I remember, and some of you guys on here maybe remember because y'all been with me for a while, some of you. So I would be in my office and I'll be on live, right? And people would just be walking past. And normally my doors always stayed open. And, people just always knock on my door and just have a conversation. And I'm sitting here like going live, but I can't tell them I'm on. So point is, it started interfering with what I was passionate about. And once I started having those feelings, then I knew it was time to go. And like, it just was something just like that. I had no plan. I had nothing. I just knew that this part of my business, it lit me up. I was excited about it. I enjoyed what I was doing. It was like I was like a kid in a candy store. And this is before I was even doing draping. But I was so excited. Then, not to mention, I would just do a few events a month and I was clearly making more than I was making at my job. So I was like, oh, okay, it's time to, it's time to go back to the drawing board and really figure out some stuff. So same thing how you just said, Monique, I totally get everything you're saying. It is a hard decision because normally with a 9 to 5 is more, it's kind of security, right? You're getting a check every week or every 2 weeks. And with this thing here, it ain't like that. It is not like that. However, once it starts interfering with your true passion and you see that you can't grow or your business is stagnant and it's mainly because of the 9 to 5, then you do have to make some hard decisions. And normally when you operate in your passion, you operate in your gift, it's going to make room for you. So even if it's scary, a lot of people get scared, and which was why I got so passionate about helping people leave their job, because I knew exactly. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, when I actually left is when I moved here, and I like anxiety kicked in, right? I'm like, holy crap, there's no more checks coming. I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I do? And it's just, but me, how I am, I normally work great under pressure. So immediately I just started going. And like I said, I didn't have a plan, but I knew if I stopped, if my feet stopped moving, I was going to be, that's where I was going to be. So as long as they move, meaning as long as I was making small changes in my business, as long as I was learning, as long as I was reading, as long as I was changing my broke mindset that I had at the time, that I was going to be all right. I just knew it, right? I just knew it. And I acted like I was going to be all right, even when I felt like sometimes I didn't. But I just had that attitude. I got this. And that's just how it turned out. And honestly, like it probably was one of the hardest decisions I made, only because I normally don't move without a plan. I don't. I am not one to walk with blinders on or walk. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Normally, my stuff is mapped out. Even if it changed, even if the plan changed or I deviate a little bit, at least I have something that that's a guide that can kind of bring me back on the yellow brick road where I'm supposed to be. But with this thing here, I had no clue. And it's still some things I still want to do. Don't have a clue how I'm going to get there, but guess what? I'm already there. It just ain't come yet, but I'm already there. Right. Yeah, exactly. Monique, and it, like you said, it is security and it's not your true passion. It is like, it's normally a 9-to-5 is security. People stay and operate in those because that's what they do. I know for me, they made it too easy for me to quit. It was like, it was just too, they made it too easy for me to stay. The incentives was ridiculous. It was like, I only worked 3 hours a day in the office. I was able to work from home, and I told y'all my stuff be done months ahead of time. So that's how I was able to really work on my business like that. But yeah, it's not your true passion, but when you find what your passion is, it's just, even if you can't, a lot of us that's doing the 9-to-5 stuff can't really go full throttle like we want to. Another thing I used to do, like when I started preparing myself to leave, it really kicked things into gear for me. So I knew, okay, I'm leaving. And I'm telling you, it was just a decision just like that. But I knew also I had to really work on my business even more. So I would stay up late because my life was crazy busy then. It's crazy busy now, but it's mainly business stuff. But back then, it was business, work, mom. It was just all kinds of stuff, right? And my kids always had busy days. Like they had to go to after school stuff, then they had to go to sports. It was crazy. So I was getting home like 9. Then we would have to eat dinner at 9. So they normally was pushing, wouldn't get in bed about 10. And then that was my time to work on my business, right? That is what I mean when I would say a lot of you guys, when people talk about that balance and, oh, you got to balance out work life. I don't know who keep telling you guys that. Sometimes at different degrees, while you're going through your journey, something is going to be neglected. And you have to realize and understand that in the beginning. Not only that, you have to have those conversations with whoever or whatever is going to be neglected, right? And my thing and what I do, balance out the neglect, right? So it's like you can't totally neglect yourself, but at times you will. Look at my head. That's prime example, right? Your girl looks neglected, but I'm happy, right? I'm happy. And sometimes your children will go through points where they are neglected, but you have to have those conversations and let them know, look, baby, mine about to be busy for about 2 weeks, but I got you. Just understand what I'm doing, understand the process, trust the process, right? Those of you with spouses, it's not about, I got to do all the business stuff and you just got to wait. No, you got to have that conversation. And normally, I hear a lot of you ladies talk about it when your husbands or the guys be like, oh, you still working on that little business? I totally get it because I hear it so much, right? But that resentment is not necessarily coming from because you're working on the business. It's because they're being neglected and you're not letting them a part of the process. They don't have to be in your office filing papers. However, you still can have conversations or do little simple stuff to let them know, you want to know what, I still see you, but right now let me do this real quick, but I still see you. I'm trying to tell you. I am trying to tell you way back. But then they didn't want me to do the wedding. 5 reasons. Huh? Wait a minute. Let me read that again. I think I will pay for everything. No, if they already paid for everything, if you guys were contracted already, if that's the case, that's something totally on them. If they like changed their mind like that. Exactly, Monique. And that's so let that, you knowing that, let that be a part of your income goal. If you know you can make in one day what you make in a month at your 9 to 5, you definitely need to make some shifts, right? And you just need to increase that one day to maybe you do 5 a week. 5 a month or 4 a month or whatever the case may be. Now you think it's easier to leave. One thing I do want to say though, is sometimes it's very easy. Well, I'm not gonna say easy, it depends. But when you set an income goal, it's easier to get to that goal and much harder to maintain it. Just look at what is needed to maintain it. And that's the main thing I want to say. Because when I set my first goal, I think it was like 10,000 a month. And when I got my 10, I was like, wow. But then my next month maybe was like 5. And I'm like, oh Lord, what happened here? So you definitely have to put a plan in place and make sure you meet your freedom figure number. And when I'm not saying you're going to hit it every month, but you have to have that contingency plan in place or your cushion or whatever to make up the difference, right? Hey, Priscilla, I see you in a while, lady. Wait a minute, let me see. Looking forward to this day, trying hard every day to bring this to fruition. Elena, it's already there. You just got to get up to the day, but it's already there. If you want it that bad and you're willing to put in the work and make the necessary changes, and normally, I'm gonna be honest, some people think, oh, I need this plan, this path, the blueprint. Let me tell you something. The blueprint starts in your head. That is where it starts, in your head. Because I could tell you exactly what I did, and that's what I do all the time, every week. I tell y'all every week exactly what I did. That don't mean you're going to follow the same strategy. And that don't mean that that same strategy is really going to work for you. It has to start up here. For one, when you say you're waiting for that day, you have to know that it's already there. The day may be June 1st, 2021. It could be January the 2nd, 2021. Truthfully, it could be tomorrow. However, just know it's somewhere in the near future. Just do the necessary changes and realize what that day going to look like or what it's going to feel like. And then from that day forward, what is going to be needed to maintain it, and start putting those places and start putting those changes and implementations today, right? Let's not wait till it feels a little, till you get a little more confident. No, you just have to have your faith have to be big enough right now, and it has to be bigger than your fear, because you're going to get scared. I still get scared all the time. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I do. However, my faith is so huge. It's huge. Where normally when fear come knocking at the door, I say, okay, I see you. I see you. But then I turn over here, right? And then I see something that's motivational. Say, keep going. That's all it takes. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. Let me come and think up. That's what I was getting to. Like, did you guys have a contract? Okay, they had to pay you, right? And you didn't do the wedding. Oh, you got off like a fat cat. Family, you got off like a fat cat. You got it. Just do the revamp, because a lot of times that's where it starts. But I'm telling you guys, and y'all know I say this a lot because it's so true. It is so true. I did a revamp. I probably on about my third one. I don't know. But this one I did it so different, right? I didn't even finish my website, because honestly, when I did it the first time, guess what? I did all the letters and the fonts and the cute branding and all that stuff. But guess what was still messed up? I don't even gotta say it. Y'all see it. It just was still messed up. I still was in that old mind frame of things I was used to. I still was doing old habits. Y'all remember? I say I couldn't get up, or I could. That was just a habit for me to get up at 12 o'clock. When I left my job, I ran off. Like I was like, oh my God, you mean to tell me I gotta get up alarm clock? And I just went willy-nilly. I'm like, oh, I ain't getting up every day until I feel like it. And then I developed a very bad habit, and I was getting up every day like clockwork at 12 o'clock, right? And it was just things like that was happening. And until I really started, one, taking accountability of me instead of blaming everybody else. Like, why is this not working? I'm like, oh, look at where I come from. Oh, look at, and I just was going through that whole cycle. And until I started taking my own accountability and realizing the things I was thinking and the things I was saying was really, it was really playing out things that was happening, not only in my life, but also in my business, is what I was telling myself or what I wasn't telling myself, right? So when I got y'all hear me talk about that manifestation stuff all the time because it literally changed my life. And the book, 5-Second Rule, literally changed my life. I'm telling you, I don't ponder on things like I used to. I would sit there and be so analytical about and I'm still a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't take that long to make a decision like I used to. I would sit there and ponder and like, well, no, and I just would do that for a very long time. Now I'm like, bam, bam, bam. One thing I realized, I save a lot of time because I normally go with my instinct, and my instinct ain't really failed me yet, right? It's normally me not going with the instinct and me talking myself out of the initial decision I've already made. So when I do that, failure, things just start coming apart. Oh my goodness, start coming apart. Tanya, all you got to do is exactly what you just did. Put a time stamp on it. If you're looking to retire in a year and a half, that's it. 18 months, tops. 18 months. So now break it down. Figure out what you need to do every month so you're working toward that 18-month goal. And the only way, if you really plan it out that way, the only way you will end up not retiring is if you ain't following the plan. Priscilla, you're launching in January. I'm excited. What are you doing? Because you were doing so much, Priscilla. You have a lot. And you retake the draping class. Monique, let me see. I hear that too often. Like, I'm not seeing any progress with this business you are fighting with. Oh, the husband thing or the boyfriend thing. And honestly, it just takes conversations because you're not going to see a whole bunch of progress in the beginning. Normally in the beginning, you're doing a lot of sweat equity, right? A lot of people, I know I didn't in the beginning just like, oh, I need a VA, let me hire him. Oh, let me hire it. I was doing all of the work, and I'm still doing a lot of it. Look, I still do a lot of it because I don't know. I'm just willy-nilly like that. But so in the beginning, you're not going to see, or they're not going to see the progress, right? But you got to be able to celebrate those small progresses. So that is when people feel connected to your business, because maybe, I don't know, you get a phone call, like, or you get a booking. Be like, pump it up. Hey, babe. I'm trying to tell you, you got to make people excited about your business. This is how you develop a support system, right? Normally when you're doing everything on your own and, people are frustrated because they're not seeing the money or something like that, you got to celebrate your small wins. I'm like, look, I don't care how small the contract is. This is a really big deal because it's going to leave, it's going to make room for more contracts and bigger contracts and things like that. You got to be so excited about your business. They should be mad that you're so excited, right? Like, why is she so happy? And then normally those kind of, that energy is infectious, right? You got to force people, and you got to train people how to support your business. And I know it's hard with some, especially when you're in relationships and y'all spend all your time, you in the office, like, really? That's what you're doing? This little business? I'll be laughing, guys, because y'all be tripping. Trust and believe me, balance is extremely important for a single parent and raising it. Absolutely. It is. It is. You have to, not only with the balance thing, you have to make room. It's just not equal. Like, you're not going to go to work for 8 hours and then work on your business for 8 hours and then, deal with home life for 8 hours and then sleep for 8 hours, or 6 is 6 when you divvy up that way. It's just not realistic. Like, some things have an immediate need, especially if you're dealing with, like what you just said, Cindy. Some things have an immediate need, and you have to have room for when you're going to be pulled away from something that you're doing, right? It's possible. Renita say, my husband is my only employee and he is pleased with that. Valid Saul. those of you guys with I'm telling you, a lot of husbands or a lot of man friends, boyfriends is very supportive of a lot of you ladies. And then there's a lot of you ladies where they aren't. I'm telling you, I have a lot of clients that I coach, and that is like one of the biggest things is they not having the support at home, or the husband is frustrated because they're not bringing in the money on the business side, and they're just saying, y'all know how y'all are. Y'all buying all these packages, Amazon at your house every day. That's why they're making them. That's why they're making them signs, them foot roads. Leave my packages under the steps, or don't tell my husband my packages is here. Like y'all know how it is. That is so true. Visualize a day. Yes, visualize it. And not only visualize it, guys, I'm telling you, I see me. Y'all probably heard me saying this back then. I see me, even though I'm not doing it right now. I am on stages speaking. I know exactly what I have on. I know exactly how my hair going to be. I know exactly what color shoes I'm going to wear, right? That's what I mean by visualize it. Don't just like, oh, that's a good idea. No. When you say you want a house in the hills, visualize it. I'm already visualizing my next house. I know I love windows. I know I love the tall ceilings. I know I love stonework. Like I see it, already see it. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get it, but I see it. So I'm already in it. I'm already feeling the emotion that's going to be tied to it, right? I know I want, I wrote it down today. On my vacation home. Y'all know I love water. So yeah, I will be able to walk out on a terrace that's mine and look at the water. I see it. I already know how I feel. I already know how I feel. Hey, Sherry says, I really needed to hear this conversation because I'm going through this now. See, I know I'm not crazy. So I know I'm not crazy. So that's why I normally come on with the intention to speak about something. And here we talking about something totally different. And that's just how it happens. So sometimes my lives they'll go off on a deep end. But it's someone on here that is going through it or experiencing it, and they need to hear it, right? And then maybe I needed to say it because I haven't talked to y'all in a long time. So I wanted to talk to y'all. Okay, wait a minute. Priscilla, yes, it is. Fear is paralyzing. Yes, it is. It is. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck. A lot of people, it's common for humans, us people, to want to stay safe and play small, right? Because it's safe. You're like, oh, I'm in my bubble. Nobody. I tell y'all, well, how I used to hate going broadcasting like this, especially broadcasting with a nappy head. Oh, no. No. I would have to do all this and all that. Like, oh, am I straight? Can you see my baby hairs? Or I would go through all of this stuff. Now, y'all see me decked out, and y'all see me getting out the bed. Y'all see, I don't care, because my whole goal is to connect with you guys, say something that can possibly help some of you guys, and I feel like I've done my job. My job is not to come here and be cute. It's not. I'm out here to save some souls and try and tell you. Oh my goodness. That sounds like me. Analyze everything. Dina, I'm telling you, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying I don't still do it, because I do. I'm just very analytical. However, I'm very quick to make a decision. Normally the first one that goes in this head of mine, because now I trust my mind, because I've trained my mind to get away from the broke mindset and go towards a growth mindset. So normally anything that comes into this head it already has the vision. And, it already has the vision. So normally the first indication or the first answer I come up with, it's going to get me there, or it's leading me to it. So I'm like, you want to know what? I'm not even going to second guess it. Even if I feel like I'm second guessing it, I'm telling you, Mel Robbins' book, 5-Second Rule, I hear it in my head every time. And I listen to it on Audible. So I hear her voice, right? And, sometimes she cracks the whip. So I hear her voice. And I'm like, you want to know what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Just like that. It's just that easy. So a lot of things that we have going on, or, things that whatever it is, sometimes it's us. We get in our own way. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. We get in our own way. That's exactly what it is. I took an early retirement package, started my business in August. Awesome. I'm excited to see what happens with your business. LD. Hey, that's my boy Eric. Eric, I see your logo and all that. You got it going on, Eric. I know who you is, the Dream Academy. We know who you are over there, Eric. I'm revamping my business because I work full-time and not retiring for 7 years. However, it's a passion, and I was doing good for years until my husband passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that. I just started back 2 years ago. Wow. Well, kudos to you, though, to get back into it, especially if you know that is your passion. We all know life gets in the way. It does. But that's some champion stuff when you know what your passion is, you know what your gifts are, and you get back to them. Sometimes things happen, right? And we got to put them down for a little bit because when life happens, hey, that's an immediate need, right? Sometimes you got to secure the 4 walls before you can think about anything else. So when things like that happen, totally understand, whatever happens. But for you to get back out there, get back into the game, that is like awesome. Because that is really where you're going to find another love, right? And you're going to find another love in your business because that is your passion. Get it, Eric? He said, you better name it and claim it. I am going to get one too. I love it. Oh, you talking about the beach house? I'm telling you, I see me when if I feel a little stress, I'm like, you know what? Fire up the jet. I'm trying to tell you, fire up the jet. I got to go to Fiji for a couple of days. I'm telling you, I see it. I see me walking through my beach house with like some fancy pajamas on. Oh man, I see it. I'm telling you. Watch. As soon as the first day I do it, right? I'm snap my picture with my little fancy pajamas. I say, I told y'all, I don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be. Your purpose is more than just draping. Your platform is also to encourage other women and drapers. Oh, thank you, Monique. I appreciate that. And I receive. I need to get to that point. Dina, it's not that you need to get to that point. One thing I'm glad that obviously it's a point you want to get to. So only thing you have to do is lean on your desire, right? Lean on your desire. If you know it's a level you want to get to, lean on that and then figure out why aren't you there? When you notice why you aren't there, you tackle that thing, right? For me, I know it's levels and devils I'm about to face and levels I'm about to get to. But what I do is figure out why am I not at that level right now? And normally it's because it's something I don't know. Because if I knew it, I'll be there. So whatever it is, I'm not gonna sit here and play with this thing. Like if I know it's something I don't know, I'm gonna go find the resource, the person, the thing that's gonna help me get there. Because if I do it my way, sit here, keep trying to read and do all that and learn, it's gonna take me forever. I learned that the hard way. That's why it took me so long to grow. But when I grew, oh boy, it took off. And it's still taking off because I got smarter, right? I'm a workaholic. Yes, I am. But now I'm a smart workaholic. I just eliminate obstacles. I eliminate, y'all know I'm lazy. I eliminate labor and I get straight to it. And that is how, honestly, Dana, you're going to be able to do it as well. Figure out why aren't you where you want to be? And then you implement whatever's needed to get you there. It's just that simple. I'm so grateful for your wisdom and transparency. So needed today. Oh, thank you, Sonia. And you want to know what? I'm going to tell you something. Because I am tired, right? Y'all know we've been traveling. And my hair nappy. So I started not to come on, right? But I said, I can't do that. I said, I ain't talked to my ladies. And I didn't really have anything specific to share other than this price and stuff I wrote down a couple of weeks ago. But I'm like, nah, I just want to connect. So that's why I'm glad I was able to do that. I'm glad whatever I said, if you got something out of it, I'm glad that you were able to do that because I just be cutting up, y'all. That's all. I really do. It's not like, honestly, I just share my experiences because that's all I have, right? The stuff I talk about didn't come out of a book. I just share my experiences and I do that in hopes to help you guys eliminate a lot of the mistakes I made because I made some. Oh, Renita, and she is doing a great job at it. What's that? What you doing? I missed that one. I feel exactly what you're saying. I sit at work and I visualize how I see my life. And honestly, I already see the vision coming into existence. I love it, Monique. Let's get it. And don't stop. That's the thing. A lot of us, we stop dreaming, right? You have to dream. And I'm going to tell you, I was not a dreamer, right? Where I'm from, we dealt with life. There's no dreaming. We dealt with life. You just felt like that was your reality, right? And it was weird. And that just really added a lot to my discomfort and added a lot to a lot of things that I was going through because I didn't dream. But baby, when I learned the power of dreaming, I dream at the red light. I dream. I'm trying to tell you, I dream every chance I get. I just be staring blankly into something and I just see something amazing happening, right? And a lot of that stuff, I call it's being manifested. And so when it's crazy because how it came to me. And then, you would hear people talk about, you got to manifest it. I'm like, oh, hey, nobody want to hear all that, right? Like I just was hot. I'm like, that's not realistic because I'm a realist. I deal with facts. And I just wasn't a dreamer. So when I got into it, I would play with small stuff. Like, let me see if this thing really worked, right? So it's so funny because I was trying to do the manifesting thing. And I'm like, and I would just be sitting there. Wasn't nothing happening. I wasn't hearing anything. Nothing was happening, right? And I didn't understand. I said, y'all talking all this stuff. It's not happening. It's not real. Blah, blah, blah. But I had to really dig deep. I had to dig deep and really understand some stuff about me. I didn't believe. And if you don't believe, guess what? It's not going to happen. You're not in a position to receive it. So once things started happening for me, I was like, this thing is real. And it's scary because you be thinking some stuff and it's like, wow, it just show up at your doorstep. And I'm like, wow, the universe really does listen. So you guys that have these dreams, don't keep them to yourself. Write them suckers down. Say it out loud because the universe needs to hear you. It won't be able to deliver. Y'all know a lot of stuff go on in our heads, right? But when it's recorded, when it's written on some paper, when it's written on a board, right? You have to see things about 13 times before it really even sit in. So when I got so much stuff on my board, it's ridiculous. But when I'm seeing it, I know this is important stuff, right? It keeps me at bay, it keeps me on track, it keeps me focused because I just told y'all I'm a dreamer. Y'all see this frame back here? It's weird. This is weird. But my frame, it has pictures rotating in it, right? And it's things I used to have it sitting on my desk, but now I don't have no room on my desk. But it's pictures of things I want to manifest into my life. My next house, right? My beach house. Y'all see it right there? I was on the wrong side. My beach house, right? My chef. I'm going to have a chef because I get so busy. I don't cook, but I love cooking, right? But I hate eating out. So your girl trying to get strong, trying to stay healthy. I'm going to have a private chef one day, right? But I got to keep seeing it. That's why I'm recording things in my head. And as you record new thoughts and new dreams and new visions, you're releasing the old stuff. A lot of the bad stuff is being able to release, right? And then you are able to develop a different attitude. Guys, I'm trying to tell you, it's like, I can't explain it. I ain't even going to try because I can't explain it. Okay. Right, visualize it, Monique. I love what you're doing, and that how I envision myself. I hope to meet you someday, sis. Didn't I just tell you stop saying hope? I told you own it. You just say, Precious, we're gonna meet one day. So I need you to put that in the comments. I can't wait to meet you one day. Not I hope, because I'm gonna meet you one day. Yes, for that jet. I'm telling you, fire up the jet, baby. We going to Fiji. Oh my God. Oh, you too, Cindy? Cindy say, I just need the jet already. I'm trying to tell you, the jet, hey, I'm good. I'm good. Fire up the jet. Monique, you have me laughing because this is exactly what I do at work with my friend like almost every day. We take our lunch hour and we talk and laugh like we are living that life already. I'm telling you, it will change your life. And it's so funny you say that, Monique, because me and my bestie, y'all know my bestie, Yolanda. It's so funny because when I was in mental health, me and her offices was like, I don't know, maybe 5 blocks from each other, right? I had my private office. She had her private office. On her lunch break, she would be watching Young and the Restless. And that drove me nuts. But sometimes we would leave and, go get something to eat. And these are the conversations we had. She wanted to start a business. And mine just came out of nowhere. Like, I could do this. I just was having these vivid thoughts. And it's so funny because we talked it into existence. We started our businesses at the same time. And it's just weird because that is not how I thought. I thought I would be still at work right now. Or I probably would just be getting home from taking the kids to practice. I don't know. But that's what I thought my life was going to be. And you got to have those conversations. So if you have supportive friends or if you have spouses, even your children, like I still have these conversations with my children because I need them to dream because they saw dramatic changes like that. They're like, dang, man. It's so funny, guys, because Kayla called me the other day. Oh my God, that girl, y'all know this girl crazy. So she's back home right now. She's still home in Baltimore. When we went to Baltimore, she stayed to spend some time with the family. So they went to a party or something. And it was at one where I had my first draping class, right? And I think it was an online class. And it was like at a fire station. So funny. So they had a party there, right? And she's like, Mom, guess where I'm at? And I'm like, where? She's like, I'm at the fire station where you had your first class. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. I said, you having fun? She's like, I am. But she said, guess what? She said, man, you came a long way. Because we were in NOLA when she called me, right? And she's like, you came a long way. And I'm like, I swear this girl act like an old lady. But I love that they noticed the changes and how it started with just me saying this was what I wanted to do. Because when I was saying it, they like, all right, man, that's a little bizarre, right? Even my oldest son, I'm like, Ja, come on, we can do this YouTube thing. And he's like, no, not doing that. I say, I'm telling you, it's an easy revenue stream. And you could do it. You're good at it. And he's like, nah. I said, well, okay, you want to know what? I'm going to do it. And I said, I tell you, and within 2 months, I was monetized. And then he was like, man. So you got to listen. You just got to say what it is and stick to a plan, and you good. But it's you have to have those conversations, right? Hey, Addie, wait a minute, you up there, Addie? No, you're not up there. Addie, we got to get you in class. I can't wait to meet you too, Addie. Addie been with me for a while too. Monique, I feel so connected to you because it's like you are talking about me. I'm definitely not missing your talks. I'm telling you guys, I just be rambling, but it's so organic because I just only talk about stuff I've been through. And I know a lot of my avatars or my audiences, they are where I was a few years ago. So that's why the connection is there. That's why I'm very particular on who I spend my time with. It has to be something that, one, I want to create an impact, right? That's the whole thing. And just same way I said, I hear Mel Robbins in my head when I'm not making snappy decisions. And she impacted me all from a book. She changed my life from a book. So if I could get on here and just run my mouth about some stuff that I've gone through or going through or hope to go through, and it helps any of you guys, then guess what? Your girl gonna be here every Wednesday at 9 p.m. for Posh Late Night Biz. At work during meetings, I sketch out design. I used to sketch out not even just designs. I used to sketch. Oh man, I almost got caught one time because at our meetings, I would always take the notes and things like that, right? But normally I could. I do chicken or I do freehand. Like I know exactly, I'll just write 2 words. And I'm like, okay, I remember. And I'll go back to my office and compute all the notes up, right? But I'm just writing. And they, and it was weird because my director was like, you took a lot of notes today. And so he was like asking me to see it. And I had to go and get like an old one, right? Because I'm writing business stuff down. I'm writing down stuff I need to do, get my EIN, get my Duns and Bradstreet, get my business. I'm focused, but I'm not even at the meeting. I'm at the meeting, but I'm just listening for keywords for me to write down and remember what they're talking about. I'm not even at the meeting. So when that started happening, it's funny because that's when I knew it was time to go. I was like, I am not even here no more. And I loved my job. I really did because I loved our staff. I loved our clients. I just really loved it. I really did. But once that, I'm like, I checked out. So I said, all right, it's time to make some changes. Oh, you are doing a great job keeping us motivated, inspiring us, and sharing your wisdom. Thank you, Renita. And I am not going to stop because as I grow, because your girl, I don't have a choice. I can't go back down. I've been down there too long. There's nowhere to go for me but up. So as I grow, my experiences will always be shared, because if I could, like I said, help you guys eliminate a simple mistake or something that's going to be costly for you, then that's the goal, right? That's the goal. So don't worry about it. Your girl won't stay running her mouth. Okay. Girl, you good. I was just in Vegas and did my cousin's wedding. Not for free. And did a bouquet and boutonniere for a wedding tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Y'all is rolling. If you don't believe it's not going to happen, tell them again, Addie, for the people in the back. A lot goes on in my head. I have a vision board. Oh my goodness. I know y'all heard the story about my vision board, right? I know y'all heard it, so I'm not going to blab my mouth off about it today. However, those of you that don't have a vision board, get one, right? It ain't got to be all fancy. People think it got to be all fancy and cut stuff all out of magazines, and no, it don't. So I used to have vision boards different ways. I'm a very visual person. I have to see it. I can't really write words, and it's not going to evoke any kind of emotion in me, as opposed to me seeing my house on the hills, right? I got to see it. So my first vision board, right? We did them. And I put it on the wall in my bedroom, right? And it was simple. I swear to God, it was so simple. But for me at the time, it was kind of like untouchable. It was like, I don't know if this can happen, but I did it anyway, right? So I can't remember all of it, but I know I wanted to leave Baltimore. I wanted to buy my first house. I wanted to eat healthy, like develop a healthy lifestyle with eating healthy and working out. I know I had an income goal of having $50,000 in the bank, not making it, or I wanted to have it on reserve, right? And I can't remember what else it was. Oh, strengthening my relationship with Christ. And I think that was it. I can't remember. But guys, I'm telling you, this is the kicker. This was like I think it was 6 month. I think it was a 6 month goal. And this was like right when I started my business. I'm telling you guys, everything on my vision board was complete in like 3 months. It was crazy. And I was like, this is crazy, right? So I'm telling you, this is when I was going through the thing of understanding the power of manifestation, understanding the power of realizing what you're thinking, understanding, like, even instantly, if I get irritated, I'll go right back to the thing that just happened. Because sometimes I don't realize why am I irritated, right? Sometimes it just happened. I don't know. But I'll go right back to find out what just happened, or what did someone just say, or what did someone just do? And it helps me understand myself as a person. It helps me. It's just, I'm telling you guys, I know exactly what I like and what I don't like now. Before, I was kind of like, I was like a leaf in the wind. I just kind of was a chameleon. I could fit anywhere. Now, I still can, but I choose not to. I only really collide with things that is going to add value to what I have going on. Period. I don't care what it is. Period. But it's just weird. I'm telling you, y'all don't have y'all that don't have vision boards. Make yourself one. Make yourself one real quick. Get you some magazine. Cut up some stuff real fast. Put it somewhere that you can see every day. And I'm telling you, when you see these things and it's recorded in your mind, and you visually can visualize yourself doing whatever, putting in that pink slip, like I visualize myself doing that. I'm telling you, because, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be all suited up. I'm walking in like I'm the Men in Black, giving my pink slip out. It's like I'm playing. I'm playing. But you got to visualize like exactly how things going to play out. And 9 times out of 10, that's how it's going to play out. Y'all are so funny. Okay, wait a minute. I gotta, let me see. I can't wait for our one-on-one draping session. What one-on-one, Siobhan? I don't do one-on-ones anymore. Wait a minute. Siobhan, you gotta tell me. I don't have any more one-on-ones. You gotta come into the tour. We on tour. I'm going to meet Precious in New York soon. Yes, New York, Addie, 211. That's when we'll be there. We're going to be in Queens too. I can't meet you one. I can't wait to, there we go. I can't wait to meet you one day. I like it. Change your mindset. Don't say I can't, but I will. Cindy, tell them again for the people in the back. Don't say you can't, but you will. I'm telling you, if you eliminate some words from your vocabulary and replace it with a more powerful word, 9 times out of 10, all that's everything that you probably fail at or lack at or bad habits that you want to change, eventually they will change. Now, let's remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? Rome wasn't built in a day. However, you have to apply change, and it can be small. I told y'all, guys, your girl got her water. I used to struggle with drinking water. I used to. And it still, some days, I'm like, oh, I ain't drinking water today. But I had to develop a good habit and get rid of bad habits. So now, first thing that hit my lips in the morning is water. I keep it right there by my bed every day. Because I knew if I come down here, I'm gonna be too tempted. Man, I got Coke soda, I got some white grape juice, I got some Red Bulls in there. I'm gonna go right past that water and get something I shouldn't have early in the morning. So that's what you gotta do. Say it, believe it, work on it, and it shall come to pass. I like it, Jacqueline. Kayla has an old soul. Addie, you know she do. I'm telling you, all of them do. I don't know where them kids come from. They do have old souls. Oh, Tanya, your daughter named Kayla too. Yep, Kayla Wayla. She was so devastated that she wasn't in the class in NOLA and Houston. She was so devastated because she was with us last year in NOLA. Woo, child, she loved it. She had fun. Damon John calls it OPM, other people's motivation. I love it. Other people's mentors. Absolutely. That has me a few times. Thank you for sharing. Love your shared valuable nuggets today. Love you to life. I love you. I love you too, Beverly. I'm speaking it. Siobhan's, oh, I got you. She said she's speaking it. And guess what? It's so funny because I just told you, speak it in existence. I could possibly wake up tomorrow and call you out. Hey, Siobhan, you ready for your one-on-one? Just because you spoke it into existence. That's how the universe works. I'm trying to tell you. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Speak life. Always walk in possibility. I love it, Beverly. I need you here with me every Wednesday at 9 p.m., okay? Because I'm loving it. I love the energy. I appreciate you, ladies. Please know I do appreciate you guys. It's because of your support why I do what I do and even look to do more, right? Because some of you just are amazing. And when I see you guys in class, it's just, we just be having some amazing experiences in class. Like, you guys are so super dope. And I appreciate you guys riding for me. The ones that have been there since day one, everyone that's kind of new to the platform and just loving the platform. I do this for you guys, and I'm not going to stop because it's just so much more that has to be done, right? And who better to do it than me? So I'm excited about life. I hope you guys are excited about life. It is midweek. You still have time to get done whatever you didn't get done. And make it realistic. Write down some weekly goals or whatever the case may be. Those of you that's putting those 18-month goals in place, that's putting those 3-month goals in place, let's not wait till the 3 months get here and you're like, oh man. No, you want to measure it weekly or whatever the case may be. Make sure you're staying on track. I want you guys to put those pink slips in. Baby, I'm trying to tell you, that's when your life's going to start again. Put the pink slip in, be able to do what you want to do on your time, right? Spend it with quality people that's going to help you live a more purposeful life, add value to your life, right? I'm telling you, your existence will be totally different. And I'm just telling you from experience. I just told you that. Guys, I gotta go. As always, I will be, hold on, wait a minute. Next week is, because I hate saying I'm gonna be and something happened and I can't show up. Oh yeah, the 4th. Posh Late Night Biz. I'll be here. Next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be here on YouTube. Only YouTube, so make sure you guys are here. I won't be in the group. I'm only gonna be here on YouTube because YouTube dope. I love YouTube dope. Facebook be shutting me down and cutting my cameras off, and they be doing too much. Okay, challenge accepted, Beverly. I love it. As a matter of fact, give me one goal right here in the comments for this week, though. Thanks, Monique. I love you guys. Beverly, I'm waiting on your comment. I'm waiting on your goal in the comments, and then I'm out of here. If you guys don't have any questions, or If you do, put it in the comments. But if you don't, hope you guys join me next week, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Love you, love you, love you. And as always, have an amazing remainder of your week. Family, I'm still waiting for your comment, your goal. Owe this. What you mean you owe this? Just come back next week. I'm gonna have, I don't know what I'm gonna be talking about, but it's gonna be something juicy. I know I do have to make up, which was it? It was something about pricing, but I also have to make up the chandeliers in which, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it because I'm leaving tomorrow and I won't be back until Monday, but I still am working on that. Y'all know the chandelier, this was a big one. So if y'all saw my old chandelier video, this is like 3 times that size. So it's going to take a little time for me to do it, but it's coming. It's coming. I have new videos on YouTube. If you guys didn't see them, they already there. They already scheduled. So kind of take, take a second and look at the titles. And if it's something you think will benefit you, check it out. Give me a like, share it, show the channel some love. It really helps the channel. Even drop a comment. That helps the channel as well. So I appreciate you guys and have a good night. Bye, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Addie, preparing content to post. All right. I love it. I love it. All you guys are still on here. Put some goals down in the comments. I love to see that. I love to see that.